Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video on Byte of Geek. Today I'm taking a look at the Arlo Essential Doorbell. So let's get into it. So this is the follow-up to my unboxing overview video that I did a number of months back. There's a link up above if you want to watch that. But basically, I've had the time now to have a bit of a play around with this, get it all installed, play around with the app and everything. So I thought I'd probably best do a proper review of it. So let's take a look. So this is the Essential Doorbell from Arlo, a completely wireless battery-powered doorbell that you can hardwire if you need to. Retailing currently in the UK for just a penny under £180. It's a 1080p camera, and it has slightly different ratios than normal. It gives you more of a squarish ratio at 1080p. Features things like two-way audio, motion detection, of course, package alerts, has a siren, got all the night vision, and a good 180-degree field of vision. As you can see, nice looking gloss black with white and a black back on it. Quite a modern, attractive looking doorbell. Wouldn't look out of place really on kind of like a modern looking house, I suppose. You can see here you've got the mounting points there if you want to use hard wiring. So in terms of the battery, well, you'd be pleased to know it's an external battery. So you're not having to take down the entire doorbell in order to go and charge. So you can just do that at your own leisure. But you also get kind of like your fixing kit and then little extraction tool as well. So to get the battery installed, well, it's very much like installing a battery inside a mobile phone. You've got your little extraction pin. You just push that in and the front and the back cover come apart. And as I say, you can just put your battery into that space there. There's only one way around it's going to go. The battery does have indicators on it to say whether it's charged or not, and just under this little flap here you've got your USB port. Obviously you just use that cable that comes in the box to go and charge that. So once you've got the battery in, you just pop on the rear cover and you are good to go. It is once it's all together, it is a reasonable weight. It's not too heavy, but it doesn't feel cheap and lightweight. So once you've got the app installed, you just go through the process of adding a new device, choose that you want to add a doorbell, and you follow the on-screen instructions. It is fairly straightforward. You press the button on the front, and then you have to hold the doorbell in front of your mobile device and scan a QR code. Basically, this then just takes a few minutes to go through, looking for your doorbell. So once it's successfully found it and connected your doorbell and the app together, you get to just enter a name in for your doorbell. So pretty straightforward really, and then you just follow the rest of the on-screen instructions. It'll do a firmware check just to see if it needs an update. To be honest with you, every single Arlo product that I've gone and tested has needed a firmware update out of the box, and this is no exception either. So it normally takes a couple of minutes to go through. So after that's done, basically it's then just another step-by-step walkthrough process, and really it's going to ask you, are you connecting it to as a battery, or you're going to have it's a hardwired doorbell. I'm going to choose it as a battery. It'll ask you just to think about where you're going to locate it and how you're going to mount it. You're going to use the additional angle bracket. You also get some further information just with regards to actual positioning of this, and then also, if you're thinking about having it hardwired in the future, so the angle that it looks at, the distance between the top of where the doorbell is, so that you've got access for wiring and things like that. But obviously, if you're purely having it as a wired doorbell, then you don't really need to worry about any of that. And then once you've been through that, you start your trial subscription to the Arlo Smart service. So this is a 3-month trial period where you get all of the advanced features that the doorbell offers. and after that, it reverts back to a normal regular doorbell without the cloud storage. So installing this is really straightforward. In fact, the hardest bit is deciding whether you need to use the angle bracket or not. But either way, you just use the fixing kit that comes in the box and then clip on the doorbell on the mount. And then this is what it looks like. And when somebody presses the doorbell, that is the tone that you're going to get on the outside. You then get a calling screen come up on your mobile, but I've only had that show once in testing. The notifications, on the other hand, are quite reliable, and that's what you get at the top there. And this is an example of the footage that you will get shown, when you've got it recorded. So in terms of the application, well, there's nothing super standout fancy on it, to be honest with you. There's a couple of nice little touches on here, which I'll come to in a second. But you've got all your usual stuff like, your network settings, your battery indicator, all that kind of stuff. You've got activity zones, so you can set those up and have multiple ones and have them overlapping. I can't see anything about privacy zones, so whether that's something Arlo might add in future in terms of a software update, I don't know, but that's pretty standard affair, really, having activity zones. One of those nice little touches that I have seen, so on most of these systems, if you maybe it takes you 30 seconds to get from your garden to your front door, then you can have it play a default message for whoever's calling at your door. Arlo have kind of like flipped this around a little bit, and if you don't answer the call within 20 seconds, then you can actually have your visitor record a message for you, which I think is an interesting touch, but you still don't get the option to have any other default message played out to the visitor. And I think, if they'd have had that, I think that would have been a great mix. Other kind of stuff, so in the video footage you'd have seen, or hopefully have seen, there's kind of like a little dotted light around, like a ring light around the button press itself on the doorbell, and when that detects motion, that lights up and kind of like pulses as well. So obviously in the dark you might not want that showing up, so you have the option to turn that off as well, which is nice to see. Resolution, so obviously the whole idea of one of the enhanced things on this system, as it were, was that it has a taller field of view compared to other cameras and doorbells on the market. So you have these more squarer resolutions here, and you can choose one of those three there. Obviously, if you've got this powered by mains rather than just the battery, you might already have a bell box chime or something like that. But you've got the option here to add on an Arlo chime. So I think it's the Arlo Chime 2 that you can add on. And that's almost £50 to add on to that, so something to bear in mind there if you're planning on doing that. But other than that, there's nothing super fancy in the app. I think it's a little bit disappointing, really. I think there's some kind of like functionality there that you get on other doorbells that would have been really good to see on this, but who knows? Maybe Arlo will add those into the app at some point in the future. So what's my opinion of the Arlo Essential Doorbell then? Well, to put it bluntly, it's an expensive doorbell, £180 to start with. By the time you've factored in maybe a chime, you may not need that. You may be happy with it coming out through your smart speakers, but you're going to need the subscription service to get any of the good functionality from this. And yes, it's got that nice square resolution on the video footage, but you're not going to be able to really see that unless you've got the subscription plan, because you've got nowhere else for your footage to be stored. So over a 12 or 24 month time period, this thing works out to be very expensive compared to other doorbells on the market. Yes, it's got a siren on it, but that's not the be all and end all. Other doorbells have got 2K footage, they've got local storage. There's a lot of these things on the marketplace now, and personally I think Arlo have missed a trick with this, and it is a real disappointment. I think it's a nice looking unit, but you add in all these costs and you're talking probably over £300 that you could be paying over a 2-year time period for this doorbell, which makes it extremely expensive. So for me, you know, one maybe to think about if you're going to add it onto an existing Arlo infrastructure. Maybe you've already got cameras or something like that, and you've got the subscription plan for that. Maybe you could add it onto that, but as a standalone unit, it's far too expensive. Anyway, guys, what do you think of the Arlo Essential Doorbell? You know, if you've got one of these, you know, let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Any questions, you know, ask them down below as well. You know, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and you know, subscribe to the channel if you are not a subscriber for more content like this. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.